There's absolutely no reason you're not worth $35,000 for a scholarship. But you have to believe it. You have to write it down. You have to send your story. You've overcome some adversity. You've been on your grind when it came to your schoolwork. You've consistently been in the community making an impact. And I'm talking about an impact can be 40, 50 hours in a year, but that's a story that's not told. You have to tell that story. You have to be the one making the difference in your life. If you're making a difference in other people's lives, you need to believe in you. You are worth every single dollar that someone will invest in you. And people will invest in you because you told your story, because you wrote down 500 words in order to acquire $500, $5,000, $50,000. The Jackie Robinson Scholarship was just due, and it was $35,000. 650 words for 3 different essays, and you could have had $35,000. This is how you get to a new level of social and financial security. The financial security comes in your ability to be able to reduce your overall expenses going to college. But you have to tell the story that's not told. And it's your story. Believe in your story. Believe in who you are. Believe in all the things that you've done. You've put in the work. You've put in the work. Most people don't go to college. Only 38% of the people who are in the United States actually have a bachelor's degree. You're unique by just even wanting to go to college. That's enough for you to be able to get the funding. You don't have to be completely dead, broke, poor, homeless to get a scholarship. You don't have to be a 4.5 student who's had straight A's, APs all the way to get a scholarship. You just have to be the person who writes down your story and what you've overcome, what you've been through, what you've dedicated yourself to, put it down in an essay and send it off. Most people just don't apply. Don't be shy. Apply for the scholarship today. Apply to be able to let people know who you are and what you've done, to be able to make sure that you get recognized financially for your scholarship contributions. It's imperative that you actually write the essay, that you send it in. You should be applying for a scholarship every single week at minimum. 52 weeks in a year. You should be applying for at least 52 scholarships. You'll recognize over 10 scholarships that you're probably writing the same 3 to 5 essays. You just need to revamp and edit those essays. Sometimes you have to take that 1,000-word essay and make it a 500-word essay. You are absolutely worth the effort. You are absolutely in the best position to be able to apply. How do I know? Because most people don't apply, and I've actually earned plenty of scholarships in my lifetime. When I was going to college, I ended up going to UCLA for undergraduate school. I acquired over $100,000 in financial aid because I, one, applied for the FAFSA. That started December 1st and that's due June 30th. Apply for the FAFSA. 2 years of your parents' taxes. If you're from a single family home, all you have to do is identify which parent that you actually live with, preferably the one that makes less, and then use those taxes for the last 2 years. Second, to the FAFSA, the federal, which is federal financial aid. The second thing that you need to do is be awarded grants, which you'll automatically be qualified for through your school when you submit the FAFSA. The third thing that you have to do is apply for scholarships, and that's going to be scholarships that you're automatically assessed for the scholarships. You're automatically just They're going to automatically look at the scholarships and look at your application and see at the school what scholarships you automatically qualify for. Those are merit-based scholarships, financial aid-based scholarships, major-based scholarships. And you can change your major, but you'll already have the scholarship. The reason why you're not applying is because you're nervous, you're scared, you're hesitant, you don't believe in yourself, and you need to. The 4 things you can apply for scholarships that aren't absolutely tied to your school. They're independent. They're scholarships that you can have independently of wherever you decide to go to school. They're not required for you to go to one school over the other. And that can be because you're a writer, you're an artist, because you're a cartoonist, because you're into science, because you're into actuarial science, which is finance, accounting. You could be into medicine. There's so many different things that you can actually win and acquire money for when it comes to scholarships. The reason that you have to apply for scholarships is because you need to make sure that you have this consistent money. But the core reason for why you're not doing it is because you don't believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you've put forth in your school effort. If you don't believe in your effort, then put in more effort at school. Make sure you're building positive relationships with your teachers so they can write letters of recommendation for you. Make sure your college counselor at your school or your academic counselor actually likes you. How do you do so? Stop there once a week and talk about how you're applying for scholarships, how you're looking to be able to win scholarships. Talk about the colleges that you're looking to apply to. Get feedback from them. Develop a relationship with them so they can write letters of rec. If you are doing community service, you can also acquire letters of recommendation from the people that you're volunteering with. So the letters of recommendation need to come from somebody that doesn't have the same last name as you. The recommendations need to be from someone who's seen you in the community, seen you at school, and believes in you. All you have to do is believe in yourself as well. All you have to do is believe in yourself as well. It's imperative that you believe in yourself. It's imperative that you write down who you are and what you have to do. Here's one of my cheat sheets. It's actually called a brag sheet. A brag sheet allows you to write down everything that you've accomplished. It's your academic resume. Write down your GPA. Write down the major that you want to have. Write down your 3 favorite classes. Write down the different clubs and organizations and teams that you're a part of. So if you're a part of the chess club, you volunteer once a year at a shelter. If you are on a sports team of any kind, write that down. And those are all the things that you could put together onto one sheet that talk about who you are and what you've accomplished. In addition to that, write down things that people don't know just by looking at you, like what you've been through. And you're more than what you've been through. But people don't know. People don't know what you've been through. People don't know who you are. People don't know what your home life is like. People don't know what is going on every single day. You have to tell them what's going on. You have to tell them who you are. You have to tell them. So on your brag sheet, once you have your academic resume with your clubs, your organizations, the titles of the clubs and organizations that you're a part of, your volunteer that you do once a year at the local garden in your community, or at that homeless shelter, or at the food shelter, they have to know. That uncle that you help out with his business every now and then, picking up boxes, write that down on your brag sheet, because that's work that you do. You've done that 3 or 4 times every year for the last 3 or 4 years. Let them know. If you're already in college, you should definitely be a part of different clubs and organizations. It's super cool that you're in the dance team at a dance club and you're also an engineer. What a unique combination. We want to support a student like that. You can become a student like that, even with a 2.5. 3.0 is really the ideal start of the conversation, where almost every single scholarship is available for you once you're above a 3.0. So now let's talk about what they can't see on the other side of your life. And you need to write down a short essay of what you've been through. Why are you resilient? And you're resilient because you're going to college. It's not the norm for the average student in the United States. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what background you have. If only 38% of the United States population has a bachelor's degree, it's not normal yet. 1/3 of the people have this degree. 1/3 of the people are making this pursuit. What is it about you that makes you different from the other 2/3? Because you're a standout. You're different. That's why you can go on the internet and people are talking about, oh, don't go to college. It's not worth your time. Like, you shouldn't do this. Like, they didn't know how to take advantage of college. They didn't know how to network. They didn't know how to apply for scholarships. They weren't creating brag sheets with their academic resume and flip it over to the other side and writing down short 250-word essays, 2 or 3 of them that says, look, what you don't know is that I actually had an auntie that was addicted to alcohol, and we had to go and drop her off at her AA meetings. And I learned at that point in time how impactful addiction was, and I made a dedication to myself that I was going to be addicted to positive things, that I was going to be addicted to drinking water, that I was going to be addicted to empowering myself, and I'm going to be addicted to empowering others around me because I didn't want to find myself in the same traps as my aunt. You can also write another 250 words that lets the people know who are going to write you recommendations later on. So you're supplying them your brag sheet. And on that, you have a second essay outside of your aunt's addiction. And you say, at the same time, no one knows that I'm in a single parent home, that I'm growing up with one parent. I actually have to go back and forth between one parent and another parent. And what you don't know is that my other parent is actually in another state or in another city or on the other side of town. That my father remarried and I don't fit into that life. I feel like a black sheep over there, but I feel like the golden child when I'm over here. Puts me in a conundrum of a space, but it shows my adaptability. It shows my ability to understand others and meet them where they're at. It shows my ability to adjust to hard circumstances. So any college I go to, I'm going to be able to adjust to those circumstances. That's you. You can do that. You can adjust to those circumstances no matter where you're at, no matter what you're going through, because you've already been adapting from different homes, different styles, different values, different cities, different parts of town. You are already resilient. You are already a person who can adapt to hard environments, and that's rare. People don't do that. The third component, people are addicted to drugs, and you're not. How many kids do you know are popping pills? How many kids do you know are smoking weed? How many kids do you know are drinking alcohol? How many kids do you know are out here addicted to sex? How many kids do you know don't have any patience and are actually going to all the parties? How many kids do you know are taking their time to apply to college consistently, to write essays for scholarships consistently, to be able to be a part of different clubs and organizations and actually take a leadership role consistently? How many kids do you know are actually taking the time to watch videos on YouTube to figure out how they can empower themselves, believe in themselves, and in turn their stories of despair into things that make them seem like kings and queens and warriors who have overcome hard challenges and have adapted to their situations? How many even have the ability to phrase it in a way, 250 words, so now your math teacher understands that you're not just a B student in algebra, but that you're a boss, that you have resilience, that you have a great strength inside of you, that you are resilience embodied, that you are perseverance, that you are excellence, that you are effort, and that your B is not just a B grade in comparison to the other students, but instead it is a representation of your ability to not quit, to adapt in different homes, to study at the table over here, to study in your room over there, to sneak away to a library over there. You are one of a kind, but we don't know. You haven't let us know who you are. You haven't told us who you are, so we just think of you as Ashley in math class. But Ashley, you haven't told us who you really are. David, you have yet to tell us how you're dominating off the field in ways that we haven't even conceived, but you're just going on and playing soccer. So we just think you're David the soccer player because that's all you talk about, that's all you present. But in actuality, you've gone through hard times and you've understood how to put that down on paper and write it into an essay. I've overcome the challenges and despair. This is how you can phrase it, David. I've overcome the challenges and despairs of addiction in my family. I have not succumbed to the addiction in my space, but what I have done is recognize the resilience and dedication it requires to stay sober. Even though I'm only a junior in college, I recognized how different students have become addicted to partying and alcohol, and that has led them astray. Despite all the pressures, I have decided to volunteer at the food shelter once a year. I've collaborated with the dance team to make sure that we are putting different hip hop dances from different areas and aspects of the nation to allow us to show the diversity of the students that we have here at Cal State Los Angeles. Thus, it has led me to build up my leadership skills, and I now serve as the secretary of Alpha Kappa Nu, the business organization. So I'm applying for scholarships to support my desire to work in the business side of entertainment to advance the opportunities that dancers can once have as a way to also resist the addictions of life that have led many of students and my own family members astray. Kudos, David. Kudos. Shout out to you, David. You've done well. And Ashley, there's no way that you can't write the same essay. You can absolutely write the same essay. You can edit that essay to fit your life. That works for junior in high school, for a junior in college, for a grad student. That's real life. But you have a real life response to that. You have not fallen short to that. You have decided to overcome. You have decided to make yourself different. You have decided to be different. You have decided to do different things. You have decided to not do it like they did, but instead to do it like you did. Because you're a champion. You're resilient. You're unique. You're special. You're awesome. And you're worth a $5,000 scholarship. And you're worth a $10,000 scholarship. And you're worth a $35,000 scholarship. And those scholarships still don't even amount to all the value that you have. They're just tokens, pieces of representation of the value that you deserve for someone to support your academic journey. So you can be further ahead because you're already going to college and being different. 2/3 of the United States population won't do it. Even out of those who get to college, only 66% graduate. A lot of people go, but a lot of people don't graduate. So 2/3 do graduate, but 1/3 doesn't. 2/3 of the United States population doesn't even go, but you are, but you did, but you have. If you're in grad school, you're just unfathomable because only 7% of the United States population has a master's degree. We're looking at less than 20% that have a JD, MD, master's. Master yourself and master the ability to write the essay to let people know what you're doing and what you have done and why they should support that and invest in your academic journey. Because you are worth it and you are worth every single dollar that they'll give you. You just have to write the essay and let them know. You have to make sure that you write down on your brag sheet everything that you've done, everything that you've overcome. So that way it's easy to see on 1, 2, or 3 pages of paper for you to be able to get the letter of recommendation from your counselor, from your math teacher, from the community leader that you volunteer with, or the professor and faculty member or the teacher that oversees the student organization and club that you're in. Life is not just about being the best person in the dark and the best person who's in secret. Life is about making sure that you're a light of opportunity and a pathway of opportunity for others. But you can't do that if you're not believing in yourself and then also pouring into yourself and then also doing what you need to do. So if you're still in school, 9th grade all the way through college graduation and grad school, you should be applying for a scholarship once a week. Don't hold back from yourself. Don't hold back from who you are and what you can do. You should absolutely continue to apply. People have won over $1 million in scholarships, which means they have way more money than they ever will need in regards to being able to pay for school. Why not you? And I'm saying that, and I won over $100,000 in financial aid. That was enough. I got through UCLA and was able to study abroad. I was able to visit London, Brussels, Amsterdam, and Paris by the age of 19, coming out of South Central Los Angeles. More on my story later, but this is for you, to empower you, and don't hold back on you. We're rooting for you. Are you rooting for you? Because they don't know how great you are. They don't know how great you've been. They don't know all that you've gone through. They don't know how awesome you are. But you do, and you need to let us know, and you need to write that in the essays. What are you doing? You're going to write and create your brag sheet today. All of your academic accomplishments on one sheet. All of the clubs and organizations that you're a part of on one sheet. All of the different positions of leadership that you have on one sheet. You're going to flip the sheet over, and on the back of the sheet, you're going to write down 3 short 250-word essays. One that speaks to your leadership skills, one that speaks to your resilience, and then one that just talks about something that we couldn't even predict was a part of you. Whether it's a passion that you've been into for a very long time, or another story of danger that you overcome, and resilience, or a dedication that you have because you want to make sure that you solve cancer because you've had so many people die from cancer in your family or somebody super close to you and significant. They don't know. Let us know. My name is Professor Miles, and I thank you for listening.